Hi everyone! Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Olia Gavrysh and I'm PM for WinForms and .NET Desktop, and I have WPF team with me, Fiza and Pankaj. Guys, go ahead, introduce yourself quickly, tell what you're working on.
Hey, hi everyone. This is Fiza here. I'm the product manager working currently on WPF. I'm really happy to be here. Along with me, I have Pankaj. Pankaj, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Fiza. Hi, all. I'm Pankaj George. I'm the EM for WPF. Very happy to be here. Sure.
Yay! And yeah, we have some comments in the chat already. Is this session related to .NET, WinForms, and WPF? Kind of. We're gonna just provide you with what the teams are working on, and I'll show you where you can see all the news about .NET 7 that we've recently released. And hello from Italy! Hello from Italy! Thank you so much for staying up that late. Привет, Оля, рад видеть. Привет! Спасибо за то, что присоединились. Thank you. Our WPF team is joining us from India, so it's super late for them. So thank you guys again for joining that late, middle of the night probably. Alright, so today we're gonna talk about WPF, briefly WinForms team, what is new, what we are busy on working, and I wanted to start with sharing that just 2 months ago we released .NET 7 and we had a big conference, .NET Conf, that was virtual conference, free, and it's available for you to watch on demand. So if you go www.netconf.net, here you can click watch on demand and you'll get all the sessions available for you. One thing that I wanted to draw your attention to, I think that's pretty cool: modernize your WPF and WinForms applications with Blazor. So if you haven't heard about Blazor, that's your chance to learn about it. It's a pretty cool new technology. We also had a session on modernizing your applications, how you can port it to the latest .NET, and lots of new things like C# 11, what is new in .NET 7 in general, great keynotes, everything else. If you have any questions regarding that content or regarding anything, you can always ping me on Twitter or Fiza. Our Twitters are next to our names, so feel free to post any questions. We're happy to talk to you, get you answers. And yeah, one topic that is extremely important right now for our team is working on modernization of your applications. And we're trying to improve tooling and see how we can make the migration to the latest .NET the easiest possible. So we're trying to improve your experience of updating to the latest .NET, and you have probably heard about our upgrade assistant, but if not, let me show you very quickly. I'm not gonna do a demo, but I'll just remind you that we have a GitHub repository, .NET Upgrade Assistant, and here you can find the tool that will port your application, your WPF or WinForms application, to the latest .NET 7. If you prefer to stay on long-term support version, .NET 6, you can do that. It's a parameter that you can specify. To get this tool, it's super easy. It's command line tool, so you just run this command, .NET tool install, and you'll get this tool on your machine. And then to upgrade, you just run command .NET, that's to upgrade your tool to the latest version. And to migrate, you call upgrade assistant, upgrade, provide a path to your project or solution, and there are a few parameters that you can specify. So for example, if you want to stay on the preview version, you just say preview. If you want .NET 6 long-term support version that is supported for 6 years, you say LTS. Also, if you have tried this tool, you probably noticed that the tool keeps asking you questions like, do you want to back up? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? If you don't want to be asked, if you want to just run and not bug you, there is a mode called Let me find it. Non-interactive. So if you specify this parameter, non-interactive, the tool will just do the default step and not keep asking you at every step. You can just run it, go get your coffee, come back, and hopefully your app is on the latest.net. Let me quickly go through questions, and meanwhile, Fiza, Pankaj, you can quickly introduce what you guys are going to be talking today, and I encourage you to post any questions, anything that you want us to ask or anything that you want us to highlight. Put it in the chat and we'll make sure we spend some time talking about it. All right. Go ahead,
Today we'll
Fiza.
be talking about all the things that we've done in WPF so far and what we'll be doing next. So all the updates and other things that are coming up. So I'll be sharing my slides.
Perfect. We have a bunch of hello from Turkey, hello from Germany, Korea. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I know the times are very crazy, so thanks for joining us at this time. All right. There is one question already. Will WPF Future support the latest DirectX, Direct 12? That is a great question. Guys, if you want, at the end of your talk, you can spend some time talking about it. We'll get back to this one. Very good one. Do you have any plans? Add model view update and view to WPF. Also, feel free to talk about it, cover it at the end of your presentation. Hi, Dot Morton. Haven't seen you for a while. Happy to see you again. All right. I will be tracking questions. Meanwhile, Fiza, how about you start talking about what great things await us for WPF area? And yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna add your slides to the stream. Yep.
Right. First of all, we'd like to begin with thanking all of you all who are present here and all the incredible contributors within the community who tirelessly contribute towards WPF. We want to start with this conversation with what we have been doing in WPF. So, what is new? And here are the updates on what we've done so far. Starting with the community run project, we started this initiative with the intent to enable developers in making a difference in how we are shaping WPF going forward. And it makes us so happy to see how enthusiastically you have participated in all of these community run projects. We've received an inflow of PRs and issue requests, out of which 24 we had shortlisted to merge. And it's with great delight that I share that 20 of them have been successfully completed. You can check them out on our GitHub page. The topic says WPF Community Projects. We'll be sharing the link with you. Other than that, there's been a blog post. So for those of you who have missed it, we have published the first ever blog post for WPF, which talks about all the improvements that have gone so far in the .NET release. The main purpose of the post was, yes, to publish improvements, but other than that, also to recognize all the efforts that our contributors who have consistently thrived to make WPF a better platform for everyone have made in that in this journey with us. So again, thank you for that. Moving on to the second bit, which is implicit usings. While we get a lot of requests, we make it a point to keep the best interest of the community while triaging these requests. Implicit using was one of the most requested feature by the community, and here we are announcing that the WPF now supports implicit usings. This will be available in .NET preview, .NET 8 preview. What this means is that all the newly created WPF projects will now be able to utilize this feature post the release. Coming to the next segment, the test repository migration. We are acknowledging that we understand the community should be easily able to make meaningful posts and really speedy contributions. So one of the major areas for improvements voiced by the community is the rate at which community contributions were accepted. We hear you loud and clear, and with that in mind, we are making updates to the infrastructure. What these updates are? As you're aware, WPF Codebase has more than 30K integration tests, and these tests ensure sanity of the build with various OS and .NET framework contribution matrix. As part of open sourcing the test infrastructure, we are thrilled to announce that all the DRTs have now been migrated from the internal Git repo. These tests can now be run locally by all of you that are the community contributors to resolve the incoming issues and PRs and speed up the whole merge pipeline. Coming to the test infrastructure, we are now able to run basic tests on each of the incoming PRs, and going forward, we'll be adding more tests to these pipelines. Again, this will help us speed up the entire process. Happy to have that here now. Coming to accessibility, we are committed to ensure the WPF controls are accessible by all, and we keep pushing ourselves by improving us in that area. We fix bugs and introduce new features which are wherever they are applicable. So one of the reported issues was on-screen narrators could not correctly announce the presence of checkable menu items. And with .NET 7, this has been fixed. So these were all the updates. Please keep on posting your questions in the chat, and we'll be answering anything related to what is new with WPF. Now, coming to what is next for us. We know with the success of the community-run projects, the first round was quite a success, and we are thrilled to announce that we will be holding and starting a second round of the same, wherein issues and bugs will be chosen and run by the community. This is a really inspiring time for everyone, and we couldn't be more thrilled with all of your involvement. So thank you so much for that. Now coming to test automation. So as you know, the test repository migration still has a larger subset of tests that are yet to be ported. So we'll be working on that, which would improve the turnaround time for all the feedback for the PRs. And for test automation, to help us in solidifying the current existing underlying frame, the test infrastructure, we would also be automating most of these tests to run as part of the build pipeline. Support for folder browser dialog. So one of the most upvoted features was the ask for a WPF alternative for WinForms folder browser dialog control. And very soon, you will not have to reference to WinForms just to make a dialog to select a folder, and there will be native support for this. We will be supporting such newer controls in the upcoming releases, and be rest assured that we will prioritize these for .NET 8. In .NET 7, 7 servicing, one thing I would like to call out here is that we are trying to move slowly on purpose here, and that is to avoid any regression or compatibility issues that might come up with higher community PR merge rates, right? So nevertheless, for all these issues that have been reported in the .NET 7, we will be investigating and fixing those issues in upcoming service releases. And lastly, theming for WPF controls. We would like to extend our gratitude for all of you who have been actively participating, and as you did in the mid-year review as well. So we had a survey there, not the review, the survey. So in the mid-year survey, and thank you for your active participation. We got great feedback regarding what you like in WPF and highlighting all the areas of improvements. Narrowing down to the most commonly requested improvement was in the look and feel of WPF controls and a style upgrade to match Windows 10 and 11 theming and the UI. So this is one of the areas we would be shortlisting to keep our focus on going forward. And we'll be definitely considering all of these suggestions while planning for our roadmap 23H2. And you can, you can expect an upcoming post from us on this roadmap. And that'll be in our discussion section. So have your eyes out for that. And thank you for tuning in. We are now open for any kinds of questions or feedback from you folks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fiza. Okay, let's go through some questions. Let me bring us to this view. And let me go all the way up in the chat. Yeah, thanks. All the countries, thank you so much for joining. That's amazing. All right. So there was a lot of talk about supporting DirectX thank you so much for telling us that, because that's how we collect the feedback, that's how we understand what is important for you. So as far as I know, supporting direct tax is not on our nearest roadmap, right, Fiza and Pankaj? But I think that's something that we should add there, and we're gonna do that because you guys are telling us about it. So please keep giving us feedback. And another great way to do that is through our repo. There was a question when we will support the add range. Let me quickly find this question here. Yeah, this one. So if I'm not mistaken, and correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I believe this is related to this item, support bulk operations and list collection view, via observable collections. So if that's the one, please go ahead and like this question. That's how we know that it's important for many people. That's needed by a lot of our users. And if that's not the right one and we don't have this issue on our GitHub repo, just create it. Describe what you want. Feel free to create a PR. Now we're getting better at accepting PRs, and in the future we'll get more and more PRs from you guys. So yeah, please use this mechanism to engage with us. Even if you see the issue is already there, just go ahead and like it, because that's how we know that, okay, it's very popular. It touches a lot of people. And yes, so that will help us to prioritize that over other existing issues. Okay, do we have any plans add native binding to WPF like Xbind and UWP? Guys, feel free to answer this question. I'm not aware of that item to be on the roadmap, but I might be missing something, so feel free to comment on that one. And again, if that's important, let us know. Go ahead.
That's right, Olia. Currently, this is not a feature that we are prioritizing. So we are currently prioritizing issues based on whatever community has planned for us. So
Yeah.
we'll be publishing the updates soon.
Yep. If a lot of people want that, just vote for that and we'll get it on our roadmap. And yes, hello from India. Somebody stays up late too. Pakistan. Hi, Pakistan. Is WPF dead? Great question. No, it's not dead. We have a team working on WPF and supporting it. We now switch to the model where we accept a lot of PRs from the community, because we think of WPF as very mature project. So not that much rapid development is happening in WPF area. But we totally support it. We bring it to every new .NET, .NET 7, .NET 8. We have lots of existing users, and we're going to support this product as long as we have users for that product. So it is not dead. My WinForms users report to viewer, and it is not yet available in .NET 6 Core. Is there any plan to upgrade report viewer for .NET Core? So report viewer, I will try to reach out to report viewer authors and see if they will be interested in migrating their control to .NET Core. That's not, my team doesn't own that, but yes, thanks for reminding. I'll make another requests. All right. Can WPF team add some standard source generator iNotify property changed? Mortem already responded. There are plenty of those already in NuGet form. Doesn't really need to be in WPF. I kind of agree. You can find solutions for that on NuGet. A question about unit tests. When can we write unit tests to test the UI? So that's probably the question for our test team. I'm not sure if we have anything on our roadmap for UI, but there are solutions, existing solutions, and one of them was posted in the chat already, I think, project called XAML test. So give that a shot. And again, if that's something that you really want, create an item, ask for it. That's how it gets on our PM's radar. Which technology Microsoft recommends for new Windows apps? WinUI, MAUI, WPF, UWP, WinForms, React Native. So that really depends on your requirements. And if you want cross-platform solution, use MAUI because it's supported on many different platforms and it is a solution for desktop and mobile. So writing just one code, you'll get application that can work everywhere. If you're building Windows only and you don't have any limitations for your users are on the latest Windows 11 or latest versions of Windows 10, you can try WinUI and get the access to latest Windows APIs, latest controls, and so on. If you have some users that are on Windows 7 or like older versions of Windows, use WinForms or WPF. And if you have already experience in WinForms WPF, if you have other projects, if you're happy with those technologies, feel free to keep using them in the future for your new apps because those two will be supported and we have teams working on it, investing in those areas, so don't feel afraid that we're going to remove them. As long as we have users, they're going to be around and we will support. We will bring the latest security features, latest updates, latest language features, and so on. Did I cover everything? I think so, yeah. All right. Implicit usings in XAML namespace. C# implicit usings are already covered, isn't it? I think, Fiza, that's it's covered in WinForms. Is it working in WPF already? Right?
It would now.
It will. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we have recently merged the PR, so that's what Fiza mentioned. It will be available for
right.
8 onwards.
Yes. So
right. That's
the way
8 preview.
Yeah. The way we do it, we implement it in .NET and then we bring it, we support it in every workload, and yes, it will be supported in WPF. It's already there for WinForms. All right. Fiza or Pankaj, if you see a question you want to talk about, go ahead, tell me which one and answer that. I'll make sure that I'm not missing anything because I have so many things in front of my eyes. If I'm not reading your question, that's because I missed it, not because I don't want to.
Okay. There was one question about DirectX and I believe MVVM support for WPF. I believe I can take that one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Currently, they are not prioritized for immediate upcoming releases. But yes, we hear you. So we'll definitely factor that in our roadmap planning. So yeah, stay tuned.
Awesome. Yes. All right, guys. Do you have a response to AOT ready to run profile guided optimization in WPF?
Yep, I believe it's the same thing. This one we are checking of the current list of items that we have that community is requesting for. We are keeping an eye out, and hopefully our roadmap that we'll be publishing soon would reflect on these issues. So yeah.
Oh, perfect, thanks. There was one about migration paths from WinForms to MAUI, I think, or something like that. Let me, I'm trying to find it right now. There. Will there be a migration path from WPF to MAUI in the future? So migration path we are working on making it easier for you to reuse components between different workloads, between WinForms and Maui, WPF and Maui. So certain things will be easier to do. We probably will not have a tool that will just take your WPF app and make a Maui app out of it, because that would be extremely hard, near to impossible to do. But we're gonna work on documentation, probably publish some ebooks, also modernize the architecture so it's easier to reuse common libraries, common classes, mechanism of data bindings, etc., etc. So that's where we are. All right, I would love to see modern controls in WPF, like new message box, Windows 11 style. And Micah, yeah, very good one. Please create an issue in GitHub repository and vote for it. Put a thumbs up. Once it gets like enough more than other features, we're gonna pull it into the roadmap and work on it. And also feel free to create it yourself and create PRs. Also vote for PRs. We will be much better at accepting PRs in the future. Okay, what WinUI? Is that a question? What is WinUI? If that is that, then WinUI is a new offering for building Windows applications. And if you have heard about UWP, yes, that is a successor. WinUI, you can think of it as the future of UWP, and it's using Windows App SDK. So Windows App SDK has WinUI as a part of it. There is a template in Visual Studio. You can create a new WinUI application. The version number, WinUI 3 is the latest thing, and the version we recommend for you if you chose WinUI for your apps. There is a documentation on our website, there are some tutorials, even videos on .NET Conf that I shared. There are some talks about WinUI as well, so go ahead, check it out. I like this one. WinForms saving my ass since 1901. Yay! I also like WinForms, it's super easy. 5 minutes and you have the application up and running. So is there alternative for, I think that's C# in Windows Forms. If that's C#, the alternative is VB. WinForms supports both languages, C# and VB. VB is Visual Basic. It's older version, but we still provide the support for it, making sure that all VB applications, WinForms apps are running on the latest .NET. If you start a brand new application and you don't know which one to choose and you don't have experience in both, I would recommend C# because it's a newer offering. But if you love VB, feel free to use it. That's totally fine.
Olia, I think
Yeah.
he was referring to CF# as a library, I believe. Chromium Embedded Framework. I believe
yes.
that was the question.
Okay, that's what it is. All right, then if you have an answer, go ahead. I don't know.
I don't know about WinForms. So the question was specifically like the support for CF on WinForms, I believe.
That I will look up. Thanks for question. I don't have an answer on the top of my head. Right. Can I write engine editor in WPF with C# and link to the my C++ own game engine? If you want, guys, go ahead, take this one.
I think you can get a lot of, yeah, you can do that. I believe you will get some examples online as well. I think it's pretty much possible writing an engine editor in WPF.
Yep, I think so too. Why Microsoft does not provide a designer integrated in Visual Studio for Maui as it is for WinForms? So For Maui, we did a user study, and Maui is similar to, it's like XAML-based language, and for those types of languages, our users prefer to write UI code first, not to drag and drop controls on the screen, but actually to write XAML code. And that's why instead of designer, we went with a previewer option. You can still see how your form looks like when you run your application. And that is called XAML Live Previewer. It supports Maui apps. And in Visual Studio, just type in XAML Live Preview, run your application. You will have a window in Visual Studio that you can dock, you can resize, you can do regular things that you can do with other windows in Visual Studio. It will show you how your app looks like. And there is some basic design tooling such as rulers. You can measure distance, you can put lines, you can change color for those rulers, you can zoom in, zoom out, change scale. If you need more functionality, also let us know. Create issues, and if it has enough of the demand attention, we are happy to implement it. Maui is has a lot of resources and focus right now for us, and we are really motivated to make the experience the way you want it to be. Just from what we've heard from our users, that's not the highest priority. They don't really want to drag and drop controls on the form. If that's not true, let us know and we'll build it. I think that falls into that topic as well. So XAML Live Preview is the previewer, and we believe in writing code first approach. Let us know if you want the designer, and please let us know what exactly you want to do with that designer. Like what operations, what features are important. It's possible that the data binding of Blazor replace MVVM for app mobile desktop. Pankaj, Fiza, feel free to answer to this one. I would say that Blazor offers a slightly different approach, and you can choose whatever works best for you. So you can try Blazor, you can try WPF, MVVM. If you need to support mobile scenarios as well, you can use Blazor Maui hybrid applications.
That's right, Olia.
Will you add show big numbers to datetime picker in .NET 7? Please create the request if it's not there, and I think that's not even WPF, or is datetime picker? I think that's our class libraries, right? It's .NET, not WPF or WinForms, so that would be request to another team, but yeah, create request and we'll edit if it's needed. Visual Studio ID itself is written in WPF. Will they continue to use WPF, or will they migrate to some other UI technology? So as far as I know, it's staying on WPF. We don't have plans to rewrite it on Maui or something else. So for now, it's going to stay on WPF. Is there any interest in modernizing WPF's 3D? It was very nice to write XAML for 3D rendering. Oh, good question. Pankaj, Fiza, go ahead, speak to this one if you want.
Sure. As of modernizing WPF 3D, I don't think we have a lot of GitHub issues lined up on that. So feel free to just add one, and we can see what we can do about it.
So folks, we actively look at all the issues that you raise. So go there, please raise an issue there if it's already not there. And if you think that this is really important for the community to have, then please upvote it, as Olia rightly mentioned. And that's when we'll be prioritizing it according to that. So we do give a lot of importance to it.
Awesome. Does WinUI 3 support Bing Maps? I honestly don't know because I'm not WinUI PM, but I think that's something that I can Google very quickly. I know that Telerik has a WinUI map control that is a map control for WinUI that supports Bing Maps. I'm pretty sure they should have that control. I'll look it up quickly. Meanwhile, let's move forward. Can I write engine editor in WPF with C# and link to... Oh yeah, we took this one already. We spoke about that one. All right. Is there any path to migrate from WinForms to Blazor or WinForms to Maui? So we have, as I mentioned in the beginning of the session, there is a video on .NET Conf how to modernize your WinForms and WPF applications with Blazor. You can go to .NET Conf, find the video. I'll put the name of the video in the chat right now. You will still need to actually write your new Blazor, your new Maui applications. You probably can reuse your libraries, your common things, because it's .NET, C#, same technology, so just reuse those. As for UI, you will need to create a new UI, but hopefully it wouldn't be too hard. Let us know, ask us questions. There are tutorials, documentations. If you need some more specific areas to be highlighted, let us know. We are happy to write some docs or books about that. Right. Yes, we want to drop controls. Thanks. Awesome. All right. Also, Fiza, Pankaj, feel free to jump in if you want to talk about something while I'm going through all the questions. Okay, link to roadmap for WPF. Yeah, if you guys could put the roadmap link in the chat here.
Sure.
Thank you. Is there an efficient way to draw custom graphics, like accessing the underlying DX9 layer without writing your entire renderer and drawing a texture to an image source? Pankaj, that might be the question of your area, if you want to take this one.
Sure. I actually do not have much experience on DX9, so I'll need to get back to you on that, right? I'm not really sure of
Sure. Yeah. That's it. There are just too many Windows desktop frameworks, and those new ones does not seem very stable. You know, yes, and that's the way we develop things right now. We are trying to enable previews as soon as they are there and develop with having your eyes and hands on it, because that way you can give us feedback and we can pivot, we can fix things earlier. Of course, that creates an impression of the product being extremely not stable and buggy. An alternative would be for us to be silent and just develop something for a few years and then give you the ready version, but there is a risk that you might not like it. That might not be exactly what you wanted it to be. And that's why we choose to develop in the open and get your feedback immediately and address that feedback. And yeah, very sorry for all the issues. We are trying to stabilize our new offerings. I know Maui is doing much better. It was in a shaky state earlier, and they fixed, I forgot the number, but like over 80% of all the open issues or something like that they already fixed. So it's much better now. Give it a shot. Let us know again, report the issue. We'll get it fixed. Thank you for your patience. Is it correct the WPF maintenance work, apart from community involvement, has been outsourced to Microsoft India Developer Center? Guys, go ahead.
Well, just a correction, it's not the maintenance work, it's the WPF development work, and yes, it is with Microsoft India Development Center.
Will there be something similar to Storybook in Maui WPF WinUI? I don't know, but create an issue. Describe what you want, and maybe it will be. And as for WinForms, we are receiving requests for new features and PRs, and it's actually super exciting because before, a few years ago, WinForms code was not touched. It was in maintenance mode only, right? We didn't have any new controls, etc. And in the last few years, we keep adding new controls, new features. There's some people want WinForms to support dark theme. So now my engineers are working on prototyping, like how can WinForms detect which theme Windows is running in, and we'll probably do some enhancements here. And yeah, I'm very excited to see that even such a mature platform as WinForms, that we thought it's done and we will not touch the code again, we'll just support it. Now it is receiving updates and moving forward. Not just with getting updates from .NET and C#, but also getting its own new controls and features. Alright, all videos I have seen on Maui is about how building UI. The problem is not the logic implementation, this is the UI. I would like the same as the WinForms one. This would speed the adoption of Maui. Same as WinForms, specify what exactly would you like for Maui to be same as WinForms. But yeah, give us feedback. And there are plenty of videos on Maui. Check out .NET Conf. There's not just UI, there's also a lot of other things. Maui also has a community stand-up, and they're doing it monthly, and they talk about all the new things from not just UI but also SDK and integration and Maui for Mac, Maui for Windows, etc. etc. Right. Azmi has a map control for WinUI. Awesome! That's awesome. Yes. Is it possible to use WinUI tab control in WPF? If not, will it be possible anytime soon? So we had that initiative called XAML Islands, where you could have a XAML island in your WPF, in your WinForms, and there you can host any Windows control, so you could put the control from WinUI. I'm not sure how well it works right now, so you can try. As for bringing tab control to WPF, I guess that's something that you can create a issue, and once it gets enough votes, we put it on the roadmap. If it's needed for a wide audience, I don't see why we wouldn't do that.
You can currently use WPF tab control.
Sorry. Fiza, your connection is breaking. If you could repeat.
Sorry, I was just mentioning that you
Yeah,
can use the WPF tab control.
Oh, okay. So WPF tab control is there. You can use that. I guess they're referring to Win UI, which probably looks different. But yeah. Right. Yeah, Microsoft moving something to Microsoft doesn't quite sound like outsourcing. I agree. Our team in India is also Microsoft team, so that's location is different, but we treat Fiza and Pankaj same way as I treat my coworkers in Redmond. It's one Microsoft, one team. What about Uno platform? Why doesn't .NET get Uno available at start instead of Maui? So we're talking to Uno. We are trying to support them. Available at start, you probably mean like having Uno template in Visual Studio. I think that's something that you can install from Uno and build Uno applications. Maui is a part of .NET that we built, and of course we have templates for that, but we're trying to support Uno as much as we can. And if there is some functionality missing, also let us know, reach out, we're happy to provide that.
Olia, I'd like to take this question that
Yeah,
Jose
go
is
ahead.
asking about what is the best way to deploy WPF. So there are a lot
Sure.
of benefits of MSIX. So I think there's a lot of benefits of using MSIX, which is you get guaranteed clean installs. Your apps will be isolated, and at the same time there will be this one instance of storage and better security. So MSIX could be a great way to package your app.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. Okay, one person says they missed the beginning, and very quickly, Fiza, if you could remind us what is the progress on WPF, PRs, like just 1-2 sentences of what's happening there.
Right, so a few things there. We talked about community run projects. We'll be doing the second round of it as well. We took 20 out of 24 so far. We have the blog post. I'll try to push the link here itself where you can read all the improvements that we've done in the blog post. We now have support for implicit usings. So that will be in the .NET 8 preview. And about the test repo migration, these tests you can run, the contributors can run them to resolve issues, and you can just speed up the whole PR process. So that was almost all. And for the test infrastructure, we'll be able to run basic tests on all of the incoming PRs, and more tests will be added to the pipeline. And for accessibility, we are being more inclusive, adding more features there as well. One of them was on-screen narrators. So there was an issue there. We fixed that bug.
Awesome. Yeah.
Adding one point there, right? So in the past months, right, we have been swamped with .NET 7 release issues. So that's why we had to cut down on the number of contributions that we usually take. And now that we are back on track, you'd see our community contributions merge rate is already back to what it was before. So yeah, we are working on that, and we're hoping to get back on track on that front really soon.
Yay. Awesome. Oh, there is a comment. Where's community? Only 111 people are watching. You know, that's a lot for me. Right now it's 134, and I remember when I was starting this, we had 30. And keep in mind, like, not everybody can watch it in real time, but there is a recording on YouTube and people go back and watch that later. And for somebody it's the middle of the workday, for somebody it's middle of night, like for my amazing India team. And yeah, I'm very happy with attendance, and I wanted to say thank you to everybody who is watching us right now. We love you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your comments, even the angry ones that really help us to understand what's happening and what is important for you guys, and that helps us to like guide our roadmap. So thank you, big thank you.
There's another
Right.
question
Go ahead.
regarding native AOT for WPF. So we want to tell you that yes, we see that this is ahead of time has been asked by the community, but there are certain trimming incompatibilities that we want to be really transparent with you folks, that there are certain things that need to be done before we come to native AOT. So we are trying to navigate our way through it, and we'll try to focus on this. You will definitely see this coming up in the future. So that's on top of mind.
Awesome. Yes, I can see the roadmap link. Could you send it? Thank you. How about we just find it right now? Let me bring my screen. And Fiza, is that on our repo?
Yes, I have shared it in the chat. Somehow it's not visible
So-
to everyone.
That's okay. We're just gonna go GitHub. Oh, GitHub.net and WPF. So github.com/.net/WPF, and here
Discussions.
/discussions.
6744. That's the /6744.
Okay, /6744. All right.
That's the one.
Okay, so this is the discussions regarding the future roadmap.
Right.
Awesome.
So we've updated this recently. You can see all the updates there. We will be publishing another roadmap very soon, and you'll see that in the discussion forum itself.
Yeah. All right. Feedback for WinForms. For .NET Framework is incomplete. I noticed lots of changes in WinForms for .NET Core controls, like text boxes now has placeholders property, which is super cool. Will WinForms for .NET be improved? So WinForms for .NET, we keep improving. I'm not sure I'm getting the question right. Did you mean to ask about WPF or WinForms? Because WF usually stands for WinForms, short for that. But yeah, just to say, WinForms, indeed, we are trying to update, and every time we hear feedback, we're trying to get it, squeeze it on our roadmap and improve the experience and keep it modern. And so yeah, keep giving us feedback, what is important for you. For WPF, same story, create an issue, vote for it, and we'll get it done. All right. How about in Visual Designer, while editing forms on WPF, when pressing middle mouse button to scroll both vertical and horizontal? That's an interesting feature. Create a feature request, and let's see. Yeah, and that's a continuation of this feature. Yeah, thank you, great idea. Please go ahead. And another way how you can go to GitHub repo, github/.net/WPF, or for WinForms, github/.net/WinForms. And there in issues, create new issue, create feature request, and listed there. Another option in Visual Studio, in the top right button, there is a little person icon, and you can click on that and click create issue or create a feature request and create it from there. We look at both channels. Right, as for deployment, here used click once, but it also is not great. Click once, a lot of people love click once. There are some features that it's missing. There's another open source community offering called Squirrel. Some people like that, so check that out. And of course MSIX.
Olia, there's a question on MS Retire, I believe Microsoft Retire certifications related to WPF. Is there a plan to introduce new certification related to WPF? Imran, right now, currently, there isn't any plan, but we will see if there's something that we need to do on that front.
Awesome. Yeah, and at least WPF has taken more community contributions than WinUI does. All right, I'll translate this question. What is the future of WinForms? Is it needed at all? And you know, there are a lot of people who are using WinForms and a lot of developers who have WinForms expertise and they prefer to keep writing WinForms app. So we're going to support WinForms for those people. If you prefer something else, go ahead. That's why we're modernizing. That's why we're creating new cross-platform .NET MAUI, or there is also like other offerings. But for those who like WinForms, it's going to be supported. And for existing applications, because there are lots and lots of apps that were built years ago and still in production, and they're receiving updates, they're receiving like little baby applications that work with them. They're written in WinForms. Developers choose to continue with this stack of technology, and that's totally fine. We're gonna make sure that they have a clear future with all the future versions of .NET, all the future language improvements, security updates, Windows updates, etc. Is it possible to do automatic updates with click once in .NET 7 as easy as it is with MSIX? Click once supports automatic updates. Yeah, you can set it up. As for as easy, I guess you try and let us know if something is not easy about it. I found it pretty straightforward. In Visual Studio, you just click and you set up how you want your application to be updated. But yeah, I think that should be easy enough. WinForms for .NET Framework won't be updated because it ships in box. Only .NET Core will be because it's possible to ship more regularly. Yeah, thanks for helping doing my job explaining the things. Appreciate that, yes. Yes, so the importance of what you see is what you get designer for MAUI and Blazor, because logic coders cannot waste time to learn XAML, HTML, and CSS. Yeah, that's one opinion. Thanks for sharing it. Also, again, Fiza, Pankaj, if you see a question you want to answer, go ahead. I feel I'm extremely slow with that. I'm trying to not miss anything, to not leave anyone behind, and yet it's so many comments in my chat that I'm getting a bit lost.
You're actually at the tail end of all the questions.
Retire certification related to WPF. Is there any plan to introduce new certification related to WPF? Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I already did.
Okay,
currently there isn't plan. Yeah, currently there isn't any plan, but we'll see if there's a case for that.
Awesome. Yes. Okay, Angular. And now playing with Blazor. Blazor is just amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. I'll tell everybody on the team, they will be super happy. Oh wow, 4 a.m. in Korea. Yes, thank you so much for joining us. That's crazy. Happy holidays to everyone. Yeah, WPF is still the best until MAUI catches up. Yay! Thank you so much. Okay, I'll translate this one. I think that's for WinForms, and they say it is needed, especially when you want to move your old framework application from 4.5 to .NET Core 7, and Max has already did that. So yeah, if you need to port your application from framework to .NET Core, we have tooling for that. That's Upgrade Assistant that I showed. You can go to github/net/upgrade-assistant and read about this tool, use it. Don't make your life overcomplicated by trying to do it manually. Of course, if you prefer that, go ahead, but also use the tooling that exists. We also have documentation on our Microsoft website, Microsoft Learn, on how to port your WPF WinForms applications to the latest core. To the latest .NET 7. I still think of it as core family. And if you get stuck with your migration, if you don't know what is the next step, you're facing some dependencies, some issues, feel free to ping me on Twitter at Olia Gavrysh, or you can send me email at olia.gavrysh@microsoft.com about migration, because right now I'm focusing my effort on migration to the latest .NET. So let me know if something doesn't work. I'm happy to look in your case and help you. Another thing that I wanted to very quickly show you for migration, let me go here. So I'm gonna go to APIs plural, of .NET, this website. And here on the top right corner, .NET Upgrade Planner. So that is a new tool. It's a community tool that is in development. You can get beta. There are no viruses. I tried, even though the Windows will ask you many times, are you sure you want to install this tool? Say yes. And you can point this tool to your project or your folder solution, and you'll get something like this. You'll get a graph that will show you how compatible your application is with the target platform where you want to migrate. And red means there are issues, yellow means there are warnings, gray means we don't anticipate any issues, so go ahead, try. If that's interesting, I think in the future when the tool matures, we'll do a special edition where we explain everything about how to use the tool, what are features, but feel free to try it right now. .NET Upgrade Planner at APIs of .NET. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Renat. Slava Ukraini. I've been working on web forms to .NET 7 MVC Blazor port for last year. I feel your pain. I'm so sorry. Yes, it's hard. Web forms is not supported, so you have to do things to move to .NET 7. So hopefully, but as a result, you'll get much better in your application on Blazor that will be faster, more efficient, modern. So hopefully you'll get there, and yeah, good luck. Let us know if you have any questions. Yeah, I'll translate this one. That's great that WinForms is still supported, but WPF is one love. I haven't met anything better in terms of speed, agility, support from the community. And they're hoping to see it cross-platform. Thank you so much for warm words, and I agree, I absolutely love WPF. Unfortunately, we're not gonna make it cross-platform just because we can't. WPF, it's a WinForms presentation foundation. It has a very hard dependencies on Windows APIs. And for us to make it cross-platform basically means to rewrite the entire platform, to create a different platform. That one we already have, it's called MAUI. So with WPF as well as WinForms will remain Windows only. But again, if you have some dependencies on cross-platform, use MAUI for that. Keep WinForms and WPF for existing apps, and they can talk, they can work together, so everything should be fine. Yeah, Maximilian is happy that WPF is getting a lot of care again. It's his favorite tag for Windows UI. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. A suggestion to separate views to a new project, which can easily make multiple UI solutions. Yes, I think that's an idea. Alright, I think I got to the bottom of the questions. If I missed something, please post it again. I did not mean to silence anyone. Okay, yeah, there was one endorsement for WinForms apps. Thank you. I'll tell Mary and the team, they will be delighted. And yeah. Aha, good point. Linux for MAUI. Create a request, vote for it. Yes. So, we apologize that we were slow with our processing of PRs, and that's just a situation that happened. We had COVID, we had like team transferring issues and everything, and we just couldn't process the PRs timely. We're very sorry for that, but we are doing our best to fix that issue, and we did have a delay before, and we are working on fixing it now. And of course, we did not have our automated CI/CD for accepting PRs for testing it. It was extremely hard for us to like verify everything manually, because that's the very mature platform. We cannot just take PR and hook it in, right? We need to test the entire thing, make sure it doesn't break anything. And before, it meant manual work of our engineers, and we're getting better, and in the future we'll accept more and more PRs. So very sorry for your experience. It's changing already, and it will be much better in the future. Alright, I think that is it. Thank you so much everyone for watching it. Thank you Fiza, thank you Pankaj. If you guys have more questions or comments or anything, ping us on Twitter and create requests on our GitHub repositories or from Visual Studio feedback channel. With that, thanks, have amazing holidays, and we'll see you in the new year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy everything. Bye.
Happy everything. Bye-bye.
Bye guys, happy holidays.